Good evening, everybody, New Generation team. Welcome, all looking fresh-faced from your ice bucket challenges. Everyone recovered? Jade, I haven't seen yours yet. Oh, is she there?
She's blipping in and out.
Is she frozen? Is Jade there?
I'm here.
Yeah, your connection's really dodgy. You might want to drop out and drop back in.
All right, I'll give it a go.
See ya! Cool, this is a good start. So, welcome this evening. We are going to be discussing the merits of investing in your education, specifically investing in an education online, which is obviously something we have all done. My name is Amy Taylor from mywifi-life.com. Let's jump around the room. There's four of us so far. Jay's just gone out and coming back. So Kelly, if everybody doesn't mind, I was thinking if we could all introduce ourselves and just make a note of your highest level of formal traditional education. Mine is A levels in the UK, which would have been, I think, the equivalent of college in the US or similar in Australia, I would have thought, Kelly. But I basically left school at 18, went to university, did a year of one course, didn't like that, did a year of another course, didn't like that, dropped out and started working, and it was the best thing I ever did. So that's me. No degree, but everything up to that point I do have. Kelly, do you want to take it from there?
Sure. I'm Kelly Petering from kelly-petering.com. Sorry, my little tag's not there. Again, I'm on my iPad. Education-wise, I've done high school and I have a degree in acting, of all things. I also have done a few other certificates, qualifications, personal training being one of them, a guiding qualification. Also at the moment I'm studying life coaching, which is cool. Yeah, love studying, but also love studying online. Actually, I think it's really different doing an online course to formal education, I think, and yeah, it's so much more accessible and easier to.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, I think there you are. Cool, thank you. We will get back onto the topic of education. I just thought it'd be interesting to see what everybody's sort of highest level of traditional education would be, given the topic that we were discussing tonight. Moving on to the lovely Jade Lawler. Hello, Jade. Just staring at me. Jade, can you hear us?
It's not happening, is it?
No. Right, Scott, do you want to jump in there?
Yeah, well, hi everybody, Scott Taylor McCormick here from scotttaylormccormick.com. My highest level of education, I did the same as you, Amy. So I went to college for A levels and completed those. And then I went to university for 1 year and dropped out within the year, basically. I think I stayed 6 or 7 months and decided, no, this is really boring, and university was made out to be a lot different than what it was when you actually experience it. So since then, yeah, been sort of self-teaching, as Kelly was sort of touching on then, which, well, I guess we'll talk about a bit more on here.
Definitely. Cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. I should probably say this up front. I had the time of my life at university, as I'm sure most people did.
Not in university.
Yep, and made some incredible friends, and I wouldn't change any of them for the world, but purely from how it was going to benefit me in life perspective, that's why I left, and we'll get on to that again later, I'm sure. But this is certainly not a bashing of the education system at all, of the traditional education system. It's just a bit of a debate and a bit of a comparison as to how we now, in being 2014, we've got other options, and I just want to make that clear to people. We're not here to bash university or college or any kind of tertiary education institution. It works for a lot of people. Obviously, Kelly has a degree, but we'll get back on individual experiences later. Why is that funny?
Oh, I don't know.
That's exactly what we want to talk about. Why is it funny? What made you laugh?
I have a degree in acting, and
How do you have a
it's
degree in
very
acting?
That's funny.
degree. That field is just, sensational. No, I used that degree for a year after I finished studying, and then changed my mind pretty much. Because I think when you finish high school, well, most people don't really know what they want to do.
No,
I think.
I agree.
So, if I could go back now, I'd probably study something different at university.
What's funny though is you say about high school, you're expected to know even earlier than finishing high school, because I mean, for our system, it's really similar over there. Like, you're choosing, for us, high school ends at 16 and it's your GCSEs, but you choose what subjects you do for your GCSEs when you're in 2 years before that. So you're like 14 being expected to know what to choose to study, which then leads on to this, It's like, for God's sake, I don't know what I want to do now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy. Just before, Jade, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us about your formal education quickly? Because I know you dropped out. You're back with us.
I'm Jade Lawler, and you can find me at leslieandjadelawler.com. My education is minimal. I sat my GCSEs. I started work when I was 13, so sat my GCSEs, didn't quite get the results that I was expecting. Not enough to get into college anyway. I stayed on for sixth form for a year, and carried on working full time. And to be honest, I was just more pushed into work than pushed into trying to find a career. So yeah, I kind of finished my GCSEs. I did a GMVQ, and that was it. I just went straight into full-time work then.
Yeah.
And when I moved back from Spain, I realised how much my qualifications could have got me. Not having the basics of English and maths to a good grade made me realise that I should have probably worked a little bit harder. Had to reset my English again at the age of 26, and my maths as well. So it's something that I know I'm not. It's like a mum pep talk, but I would say, like, just get it done while you're at school and don't bother doing it when you come out of school. Do you know? Because going back to it at 26 years old wasn't fun at all.
Saying that though, do you feel that beyond high school, so what you're legally obligated to complete as an education, do you think beyond that you've needed anything more?
At the time, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I wanted to work in travel. That's all that was in my head. I did a GMVQ in travel and tourism, and then I moved to Spain. So from there, that was it from the educational route. I suppose I had education in Spain because I learnt how to speak Spanish.
In terms of formal education, schooling,
yeah, no.
You feel that you've missed out?
Yeah. And I'm not saying that's because of the system. I'm saying that's probably down to me.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
But I wish I could go back and go and do my GCSEs again, for example. Not that I'd go and do them now, but I wish I was back there with my head screwed on a little bit more.
I think you can say that about anything in life, though, Jade. I think more the issue is what I would like to look at is looking at it from a perspective of, have you ever struggled to support yourself?
No, never.
Exactly. So,
and
it's not the be-all and end-all.
Yeah, and if I've ever struggled to support myself, it's never down to my education.
That's what we're talking about. Like it.
Never down to, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really important. I think it's really good for young people to hear that as well, because it's easy to say it when you're a few years into life and kind of looking back going, oh, I wish I'd done better. Well, we can all say that. I did quite well at school. I was always quite naturally academic, but I then just wasn't interested when I got as far as university. I just wanted to work, and the things that I was interested in doing didn't require me to have a degree. I think it's amazing when you've got kids that say at the age of 10 or 12, I want to be a doctor, and then they have to go to uni, and that's their life path, and it's great. But I think for someone who doesn't quite know what they want to do, or isn't fiercely passionate about something that they want to do, then especially now, it's a lot of expense and a lot of work for something that is kind of a bit wishy-washy. Would you say, Scott, having done what I did?
Doing what, sorry?
It's unless you sort of from a young age just happen to know and have your heart set on something. University now is a very, very expensive, long-winded undertaking, and
yeah, absolutely. There's these people at school that know exactly what they want to do. You know, when I grow up, I want to be an accountant like my dad. When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. You know, you get these people that are so laser focused, don't you, at what they're doing? And I was always sat there like, well, and people are always asking you the same question: what do you want to do when you grow up? And you'll have family parties and, you know, everything, and everybody's going, so what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is what I always said, and it was so annoying. So you sort of, I felt, you know, certainly pushed into the education system at a higher level for that reason, because I felt if I didn't know, I'd just stay in education because it was a safe bet. And really, as you said, then it's not, if you don't really know what you want to do, it's quite an expensive sort of way of going about it.
Yeah, and I think you have no concept at that age that when you're looking to go to university, you've got no concept of how much money that is.
No.
You've got, like, it's what I came out of uni with about $9,000 of debt because I left 2 years in, which is not really a lot in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, I used to spend money like it was going out of fashion when I was at uni because I was a student. Like I just had no idea. And it's only now that, you know, you've gone through a bit of life and you've had a job or you've supported yourself for a while, and you suddenly look back, and I think the forecast now for people coming out of university, certainly in this country, is an average of £50,000 of debt.
Easy. Yeah, sure.
And that's, I mean, what, by the time you paid that off with interest and possibly other expenses, you know, you're talking about 30% on a deposit on a house
before you start paying it off.
Yeah, and you've got to be earning a considerable amount of money to reasonably conceive that you will pay it off.
Yeah. Just to touch on, can't remember who was saying it, but not knowing what you want when you were finishing school or finishing university. I'm 28 next week, by the way, Sunday, if anyone forgets. And it's only probably been 8 months, if that I've actually known what I want to do or had sort of a happy focus on something that I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's not because I haven't tried different areas, and I haven't. Yeah, I've tried and looked at different areas. I've just never found that one thing I want to do, and I'm nearly 28. It doesn't have to happen straight away, you know. It's one of them. I went to live life before I found a career.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
Kelly would
so
on that, I'm sure.
Well, I still don't know what I want to do. You know, it's one of those.
Yeah.
I just like things and I do more of that.
I think it's just accepting that you're allowed to feel like that as well. Like, I think it's important. I mean, I don't even know. I certainly haven't advertised this hangout to young people that have just had their A-level results in the UK or anything like that. But it would be interesting to maybe send this recording out to them, just because I almost feel impassioned to tell them it's okay to not know what you want to do with your life. There are options, and just go get a job, even though we're not necessarily going to be advocates of that with what we're about to talk about. But
get some life experience.
And I would never have found you guys, the SFM and the online opportunity, had it not been for everything else I'd done before. I'd travelled, and it was the love of travel and having friends all over the world that has now led me to wanting to do something online. Yeah. So it's all a journey. Kelly, I know that you would feel the same way with everything you've done. You've worked in travel. You were a tour guide, weren't you? You were before you started in the mines, weren't you?
Yeah, for 4 years, tour guided around Australia and the States, yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Which was awesome fun, but it's, you know, I don't see that as something that you can do forever. Well, I couldn't do it forever.
Yeah. I think there's drawbacks to any job, which we'll get onto now. So let me go back to the piece of writing that I wanted to just read out, and we'll move on to where it's come from in a sec. So we have a mission statement here, and it goes like this. Most people live the life they think they have to live. They're unfulfilled, overworked, stressed, and stuck in a system that exploits them instead of helping them achieve their highest potential. They get the education they think they need to get the job society says they should want. Unfortunately, most lack the life skills required to be self-made and self-reliant. Our vision, and this is the vision of Jay and Stuart, obviously for anyone who didn't realise that's what we're talking about, our vision is to wake up millions of people to realise the tremendous potential that lies within themselves, and further to show them how to harness and exploit this potential in the new digital economy. In doing so, they will transition from reliance on their current job or occupation to a life of self-reliance, freedom, and total control. They will do good in the world by creating wealth and abundance, not only for themselves, but also for their communities and those around them. Who wants to go first?
Well, which part do you want to cover?
Well, let's start from the beginning. So, Scott, what are your thoughts on most people live the life they think they have to live? It's pretty much what we've just been talking about, but your thoughts on that?
Well, and we'll talk about the education system as, you know, being the topic for tonight. We're talking a bit before you grow up, you've got people that know what they want to do. You've got your parents and your, I guess, mentors at that age asking you the question, and you think that you have to follow the system in order to get to the, you know, promised land, or to the, you know, whatever it is. You don't know at that time, do you? It's this crazy thing of, you know, well, I don't know what I do, but if I go through university and stuff, then I will somehow find that. And I guess it's true and not true, because I certainly appreciate the fact that I went for a year, because I was able to sort of cross it off and say, no, that's really not what I wanted to do. And if I hadn't gone, I might have maybe regretted not doing that. But I think most people think that they have to do that in order to find their passion, find their, you know, what they want to actually do in life.
Yeah.
And it's really not true. Really not true.
Do you think, going back to what you just said as well, I certainly think it was for me, and Jade, Kelly, obviously feel free to chip in, do you think it's because people don't realise there are other options? It's university or job, and they think that if they go the job route, they're limited in what they can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's why I stayed on at school. I
Mm.
didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where to. I know I was working, but I was young.
Mm.
I was 15. I wasn't allowed to go into full-time work at that age.
True.
And yeah, I just stayed on for a year to just kind of see what happened and see if any opportunities came up, any more insight, really.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I think it was like for me it seemed like there was no other option. I was just going to go to university, and I didn't know of any other way to do it. It was just
exactly. You don't
most
know.
expensive, or yeah.
So thinking back, I wasn't aware of any other way.
Mm.
You know,
No.
you're not told, are you? You're not. It's not brought in at any time. It was either education or work. That's your crossroads. And most people go down the education route. You know.
Did anyone feel? Because I did, and I probably still do a bit, I just wanted to earn money. I just wanted to go out and earn my own money. And part of the reason I left my first course, and it wasn't about big shiny objects, I just wanted to earn my own money. I had bought a car. I'd always been a worker and a saver. I'd like paid for all my own driving lessons, and it was like a year after that we're talking about leaving and going to uni. I just always wanted to earn my own money. I'd always been really good with earning pocket money and being resourceful as a kid. It was just instilled into me. And to be honest, I still feel like that now. I don't really know what my true purpose and passion is yet, but I just know that, you know, you have to earn money. So what's the best way you can do that and still be happy? And I guess that's still how I feel now to an extent. I don't really know exactly what my true calling is, but I certainly don't enjoy earning money under the confines of a job.
No. And I think as well, to find your true passion, you need some life experience. And whether that is just taking a year out of uni and just living in the big wide world, or going travelling, or getting a job and having to pay your own bills, having to pay all this stuff, gives you life experiences, and it brings out a person in yourself that you haven't known before. A person that can, save money, be resourceful, think out the box a little bit more. And until you have that life experience, I think it's quite hard to figure out what your passion is.
Yeah.
You don't know the true you because you've just been conditioned to go through school, to get an education, to do well, to get a good job. And you don't know what that good job is going to be. And you don't know. I can remember my first job. I was working full time and I got a salary of £9,000. And I was like, that was a huge amount of money to me when I was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Until you actually now, 10 years down the line, God, actually realise what money means and how much things are and how much you're worth at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think as well, something that occurred to me as I was saying that, but I wanted to go and earn money. I did. When I was at uni, the thing I was pursuing, not dissimilar, I guess, to Kelly, but on the other side of the industry, I was wanting to get into film production. And the course that I switched to in my second year was film production. And essentially we were being told that our entire course was 80% work experience. And my argument at that point was just like, well, I've already got contacts in the industry. I may as well get paid for that work experience.
Yeah.
So I had my accommodation paid for the year at uni, and I went and I worked for free. I'm certainly not suggesting that's what anybody should do, but at that point in time, what I wanted to do, it was a case of getting experience and getting some and learning. And I think that's what's so important to keep focusing on in our conversation here, is that it's not about the money. It's about finding as many skills as you possibly can that can be utilized to make you money.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where all of us have eventually come to a point where we found this opportunity to be able to make money online, and that is
so many new skills.
Yeah, it's having the platform with something like SFM to get that training. And it's not about chasing the money, and obviously that comes, and that's a huge part of it, but it's just the education as a whole, it's limitless. I certainly am starting to feel that way about it anyway. Anyone else?
Yeah. I can't see me ever stopping learning.
Well, certainly...
You've been doing it for a while now, haven't you?
I have, yes, but the learning side for longer than the actual full-time sort of side. But just going back to what you were saying before, I was certainly motivated very much by the money when I was younger. I started working when I was 13. My parents, just to earn money, that was my objective at that time. It was, I want to save up for a car, I want to save up for this, and being a young male, the insurance is a killer over here. So you've got to pay you've got to pay for that somehow. So, but even at college, you know, I went and started pot washing, and then became a waiter, barman was the progression, and because that was the system I knew, and that's the, you know, where the money was coming from. I at the time just thought, well, I'll do more of that. You know, I'll get more money. But the important thing, and I guess the best advice I can give anybody is, well, you know, you need to start thinking about what you really want. You know, not what do you want to be, what do you want out of life? What do you want to be doing? And if you, certainly in the hospitality industry, working every weekend, late into the evening, getting up, you know, mid-morning because you got home 3-4 o'clock in the morning, minimum wage, you know, basically having to scavenge for tips. You know, we're actually taught to scavenge for tips. You know, you're looking for the right people and stuff. It's what you do, and that didn't really comply with a lot of what I wanted to do. And certainly the hours and stuff that you put in, which I'm sure in many jobs is the downside, and the restrictions with it. So when you start to think, well, what, you know, I might go to university and do this, but does it actually apply with, you know, does it link with what I actually want to do later in life? You know, if you want to be traveling, you don't want to be doing something that's going to sit you at a desk. You don't want to be, or if you want to sit at a desk, great, but then you don't want to be doing something that's going to mean you have to be traveling. So whatever it is, you just want to be thinking about it.
I think as well, I mean, Kelly, you'll be able to comment on this. Do you think there's also an element of the fact that actually a lot of people do know what they want to do? It's the fact that they don't see that they can earn money doing it. And Kelly, I don't know if that was one of the reasons you pulled back from acting, because I mean, it's that goes back to that video, the Alan Watts video, doesn't it? If you could remove money from the equation, what would you do?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You actually know that, but they don't do it because it doesn't pay.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, I did work as an actor for a year and earned quite good money. But that job wasn't almost kind of what I expected it to be like.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great for a year, and similar to tour guiding, it just wasn't sustainable for me.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, especially with acting, to make money, you've really got to go into film and TV, and that just wasn't an interest for me.
Right. But do you miss it? Do you still does part of you still yearn to be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll go back to it one day. I know that, and I think because of this SFM and this kind of lifestyle, I think that's possible. Is that you know, you can have passions and you can have hobbies that don't earn you money if you've got a steady income.
And time.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of time.
So let's get on to that then. So the education we're talking about is this whole new skill set of being able to leverage the internet to make money. But the core aspect of that, certainly for me, and obviously Kelly, you just said as well, is actually just being able to earn money in less time so that you have time to do the things that you like doing. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Jay, do you want to comment on
earn money while you're studying, I think? Like, while you're learning, you can actually start earning money.
Yeah.
Whereas at uni, you know, you don't really have enough time to go out there and get a job that pays you enough money to, you know, live well.
You might have a bar job or something like that.
So you're drinking too much.
A bar job.
No, nothing wrong with it, but if it's a part-time bar job whilst you're studying, it's certainly not going to pay off the cost of your study.
No, not at all.
I think Stuart actually commented on that as well. There's not many educational formats or educational options whereby you instantly start earning money from the thing that you're studying. Stuart commented that he's got a friend in Miami who's studying to be a doctor, and he's looking at probably close to 80 grand's worth of debt, and he won't earn a penny as a doctor during the time he's studying.
Yeah.
Well, there is, but there's quite a popular one, and it's an apprenticeship. You know, if you want to be a plumber, you know, you go up, you sign up for. It's less than minimum wage. My brother wanted to be a plumber. it's something like a couple of pounds an hour, and you go, find somebody with their own business. They accept you onto their course. That you have to go to college a day a week. You're learning the theory behind it. The rest of the time, you're actually on the job, doing the hard work, and you get paid to do that. That's the only other form that I can think of. And you spend 2-3 years, whatever it is, and come out the other side of that.
Yeah.
And also regarding like people that want a decent income and they want a career, you've still got the issue that even if you're still earning more money, you're still working as hard. And just an example, we have there's a guy that stays at my hotel for maybe in a month he probably stays 4 nights. And I was having a conversation with him the other week, and he earns 80 grand a year.
Right.
But he works 90 hours a week.
90?
There's times where I've closed down in the hotel and he is still there on his laptop. So even though you might want the high-end like money, if you want a good career with high-end money, that's never going to come easy.
No.
There's still a hell of a lot of people that have to put in hours and hours of work to be able to earn that money. And technically, you're still all doing the work for somebody else to earn, for somebody else to benefit.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And again, it comes back to the reasons behind the reason for doing it, which is time. It's the one, Jay Kubsek's always saying it, it's the one commodity you cannot buy. But if you work smarter instead of harder by using this new technology, and just, again, it comes back to just learning how it's possible. So many people look at this and say, oh, it's too good to be true. Laptop lifestyle, working less, earning more, it's not possible. It's like, well, not easy. It's not something that happens overnight, no, but it is a skill set that can be learned, and it pays for itself if you do the right things and you learn from people that have made all those mistakes for you. The investment in that education is priceless. I mean, I'm close to breaking even within 6 months, and I think people might think, well, that's not quick enough. It's like, well, you show me another business that does that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Because there's something about the internet, isn't it? We're specifically talking about online businesses tonight, and something about it. People think that it's going to happen overnight, and I totally agree. It comes back to that every time. Show us another business that in 6 months, you can break even. Usually, you have to go to a bank with a business plan that within the first 3 years, is usually a good time to break even.
Yeah. I think there's that to consider, but there's also time scale. Like 6 months is not a very long time, considering you've got, like you say, kids coming out of maybe A-levels or maybe even earlier than that at 16. It's like, well, in 6 months you'll still be 16. You don't have to come out and think, oh, what am I going to do till I'm 60? Do whatever you want. I love hearing, again, it's not about chasing money. I love hearing Jay Kubsek talk about when he still didn't know what he wanted to do, but he just made $1 million and put it in the bank. It's like, well, that's money sorted. So then you are free to do, like, he goes off and makes movies, or he goes off and snowboards, or, that is when you've got this time that maybe at 16 you wouldn't realise is so precious. And I think we're quite fortunate to have realised that at the ages we're all at. But, that is having time to do the things you love. If it is snowboarding or just hobbies, that's just priceless, and I don't know that people really get that.
No,
absolutely not. And hobbies, family time, and being there for the people that mean everything, and everything, just having that time allows you to do whatever you want, whatever that is.
And what would you say is this or what are people's feelings on the thing they appreciate most about the way in which you can receive this education, like the fact that it's delivered online, it's global, there's people all over the world. I mean, I just think that's fascinating and magic because we've all made different friends in different parts of the world, but the fact that you're not just restricted by location in order to learn. Like, you don't have to be in Oxford, or, you know, that being one of the top universities here. You're not restricted by getting the best education by having to be in a certain place. Or, you know, in America, there's XYZ, Harvard, Yale, the Ivy League unis that you've got to be in a certain location. This is delivered online. It's being delivered by a handful of people to the world, and I just think I love that. I don't know how everyone else feels about the benefits of the community and so on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like in the middle of nowhere, and that's the main reason that I chose to do SFM, is because I can do that here. I don't need to go anywhere, or you know, where you can, like, obviously I came over to London at the start of the year to meet people for it, but I didn't have to do that.
There's options.
Have you been to any masterminds in Oz, Kelly? Have you had local ones?
Yeah, actually, we just had a Perth meetup last weekend, the weekend before.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really good. There was just six of us here in Perth.
Who was that?
Not that I'm in right now, but yeah.
Who's in Perth?
Who's in Perth? Chris and Jared Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Lawrence Anderson. Matt, I don't know his last name, and Alicia Key.
Oh, yeah.
Curtis Butcher, yeah.
Cool.
Met those. Yeah, it was awesome. Really, really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Because it is, as much as I love the fact that it's all, you know, we can connect with anybody by virtue of it being online, it is really nice when you can meet up with people in person. I know the events that we've all been fortunate enough to be at have been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Jade, how would you sum up how this education is helping you and changing your lifestyle and how it's delivered?
For one, on a personal note, it's changed me as a person and the way I think, the way I see my future, the way I can, what's the word? Like, could have passed. But yeah, it's just changed. It's changed me as a person, and I think just having the people around in the community, watching everybody take every step that you're taking, or have already taken, or are taking together, is really good.
It's not just sort of learning internet marketing. Obviously, that's a huge part of it, and that's the nuts and bolts of what we all need to be doing. But there's just so much more to it. Scott, I mean, do you want to talk about the various self-development elements that we've got at our disposal?
No, I'm going to pass. Absolutely. I mean, it's not all about internet marketing, is it? And I don't think it's even being promoted as such a thing anymore. I mean, I was introduced to the whole personal development side of it, and that really does open your mind and makes you really think about, you know, everything that you really want, and challenge you, doesn't it? I've never had to think about those things in school. You know, they sit you down and say, right, what do you want to do? But, you know, they give you no sort of direction in how to go about finding that. So to have people's experience in doing that, and I mean the connections as well, you're able to speak to all these people in various parts of the world that have these different experiences, skill sets. Everybody's different, and to connect with those people and learn from those people and get a different perspective is priceless, isn't it? You got to be. I love the whole lot, you know. So
it's so important as a whole package as well, I think, because, you know, anyone can learn the technical side of it. It just might take some people longer to learn it than others, and that's fine. But I think it can be such a challenge to keep persisting with it, and that the whole mindset and self-development, the whole package of it being like a lifestyle business, and the fact that we get guidance on all of that, because I'd have given up a long time ago if it wasn't for, I mean, I've been driven to insanity at times, wanting to punch my laptop and just not seeing the wood for the trees, and all that side of it has kept me going. The community, the mindset training, the goal setting exercises, just the whole sort of entrepreneurship / lifestyle delivery of everything. It's
and it isn't just a package that's teaching you internet marketing.
No,
it's not. And it does teach you the personal development skills, and it does teach you skills that you're going to need on the internet, full stop. Even to things like getting your website and getting a domain name, the simple things like that, that will all come together and building an online business.
Yeah. And
it is not just internet marketing.
And also the options as well. It's not just a case of come into the SFM and sell the SFM, like a lot of network marketing opportunities have been promoted as. And I've had a couple of people, that's a common question when people discover this, like, oh, is it an MLM? And it's like, no, it's actually not. And the coaches within the SFM are the first to say, make sure you find other products eventually when you've got the hang of it and you know what you're doing. Build your portfolio, make sure this is not the only thing you're selling. And a lot of people come in for the education to sell a business they've already got, but if you're someone that is thinking, I want my own business but I don't know what my idea will be, well then great, SFM's your starting point, but they are the first to say go and start promoting other stuff. And there's just so many. I'm not there yet myself because I'm still absorbing all the education, but
yeah,
sure. Cool. I think we've kind of covered the main things. We'll keep it fairly snappy tonight. Couple of the boys couldn't make it, so I know, Kelly, you're going to take the lead on our next webinar. Do you want to give us an idea of what we're going to be talking about? Because I think it leads on quite nicely from this.
Yeah, sure. So something that I've been looking at recently is something I've been studying with the other course that I'm doing in life coaching through their marketing side of things. And the research that I'm doing is based on a book by Robert Cialdini, and it's The Laws of Influence and Persuasion, and so useful for all types of marketing and influence. So I think going into depth about how to use those, and in particular with online business, how to implement those laws into, say, your website, your marketing, and how to attract people that are truly interested in what you're promoting, and obviously with really good intentions, because we know that the product is incredible, and for the right person, that for them to be able to come in and see this, that it's going to benefit them.
Cool.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, so if you want to break that down for us, and we'll all get prepared for our next webinar, we'll make sure that we really deliver with that one. So it sounds fascinating. At this point in time, it's way over my head, but I definitely can see the advantages for it for an online business. And I think going on from what we've been talking about with the education of it, for anyone who's still thinking, oh, yeah, I can learn this, but again, how am I going to sell anything? That's what the beauty of this is. It's like it gives you license to just be you, and there will always be a pocket of people and a niche of people that want to follow you because of your story and your influence and your being. So I think it would link in quite well for anyone who's maybe in the beginning stages or considering getting involved and starting an online business. So cool. So if we want to wrap up with everybody's websites and Facebook pages, again, that would be cool. Scott, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, sure. ScottTaylorMcCormick.com, or you can Google me and find us on Facebook.
Google me.
Pretty unique name. There's not many others.
It's true. Jay, just want to remind us where your you can be found and your Facebook page and so on?
Yep, you can find me at leslieandjadelawler.com. There's also a link there if you want to get in touch and have a quick Skype call if you've got any questions about tonight's webinar or just about six-figure mentors in general. Then yeah, just book an appointment and give me a shout. You can also find me on Google.
Okay, Kelly?
Yeah, there's only one of me too, so you can Google me, Kelly Petering, or kelly-petering.com, or The Elegant Entrepreneur on Facebook.
Well, there's definitely more than one Amy Taylor, so you will find me at there's a lot, and some of them are underwear models, and that's definitely not me. I can be found at mywifi-life.com. I've lost my little tag here. But all of our links to websites and Facebook pages are in the About section of the YouTube channel and of our Facebook page, so you can find us through those as well. Again, you can book an appointment with any of us through our website. So hopefully that has been of value to everybody. Any questions, do let us know. If there's any questions on the Facebook page, I'll jump on there afterwards. I don't think we've got any. Cool, and we look forward to talking about the laws of influence with Miss Kelly Petering next time round, which will be, it's crossing into another month, so I'm going to lose track of my dates again now, but 2 weeks from today
is
7, 8,
today.
8.
Oh, guess what, girls and boys? I'll be in Spain.
Oh, nice, good.
How exciting.
With a tan. I'll have a tan by then. I'm going to Turkey next week. Can't wait. Right, cool.
It started raining here.
Now. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. See you all in 2 weeks.
See you soon. Bye.